Do you want to know why low reps aren't for strength? Low reps aren't for strength because all reps are for strength. Let that marinate for a second. All reps are for strength. What does that mean? Well, let's think about what it means to get stronger. What it means to get stronger, let's imagine a scenario. I can do 50-pound dumbbell curls today for 8 reps, and 2 months from now I can do it for 9 reps. That's getting stronger. I can do 50-pound dumbbell curls today for 8 reps. A couple months from now I can do the 55-pound dumbbell for 8 reps, assuming the same technique. That's another way to get stronger. We measure strength by output, right? So strength is simply output. And there are many circumstances under which you can get stronger. The ones I just listed are good examples, without doing reps in the 3 to 5 range. People typically associate strength with low rep ranges because that's how powerlifters and weightlifters express strength. But for example, how bodybuilders express strength is usually in higher rep ranges. When you see Ronnie Coleman, for instance, repping out bent over rows for 8, 10, 12 reps, do you not think that's a representation of strength? And if you don't, why is it that you think that? Is it simply because you're super tied to thinking that strength is only something that applies to lower rep ranges? Sure, we might say that the 1 rep max is the ultimate expression of strength. Why? Because it's just the most amount of weight that you can possibly lift on a given activity. But doing multiple reps of something, or even 15 or 20 reps of something, doesn't all of a sudden just remove the concept of strength from the equation. That makes no sense. So bodybuilding in particular is a strength sport in a way. Sure, you're not presenting your 1 rep max like you would in powerlifting, but when guys get bigger and when girls get bigger, they get stronger. You will never see an IFBB pro bodybuilder who is relatively weak, right? People often like to think of bodybuilders as being weak, but I can pretty much guarantee you that the highest level bodybuilders in the world, on average, across all exercises, are a lot stronger than the highest level powerlifters in the world. And the reason that's the case, with the exception of the barbell squat, the barbell bench, the barbell deadlift, is because bodybuilders get strong everywhere. They don't get strong at one specific movement. So that's thing number 1 I want to clear up. Thing number 2 I want to clear up is that there are still some people will say in popular YouTube fitness, who will describe certain exercises as being for strength, and then other exercises as being for something else. Muscle growth, bodybuilding is usually what they say.
Gym with more of the bodybuilding machines, a light gym with more of the strength stuff.
And so when they look at different sections of the gym, they're like, oh, this is the strength section over here, and this is the bodybuilding section over here. And do you see how that kind of falls for the same trap, right, that we were just talking about? In this case, it's kind of like people had this idea, for whatever reason, that strength is just expressed through the barbell, let's say. And the minute that strength is expressed through a leg extension or a dumbbell preacher curl or a triceps rope extension, right? All of a sudden now it's no longer a strength movement. Does that make any sense to you when it's actually spelled out like, oh, these things over here, the squat, bench, and deadlift, they're for strength. But this stuff over here, the bodybuilding stuff where you can add 20 plates aside to a leg press, no, that can't possibly be for strength. So when we have these very concrete definitions of strength is basically, we measure strength as a representation of output in an exercise, which ultimately just comes back to how much joint torque can your muscles produce, right? All this stuff starts to fall apart because now we're actually talking about something that is more fundamental, something that is not specific to any exercise or any rep range, which is basically a muscle's ability to pull point A and point B closer together. Right, so when I say the word joint torque, what I mean is when my biceps contract, boom, when my biceps contract, they pull on my radius bone and they pull it in this direction. toward the origin of the biceps up here by the shoulder. And when they pull on this radius bone, they create basically a rotational force around the elbow axis. And that moves the forearm like this. So when we're talking about strength and we're talking about how to measure it, again, it's really only measurable in terms of the external world, in terms of the dumbbell that I'm curling. I can't look inside someone and see, okay, how much tension is their biceps producing? So as a consequence of that, when we talk about strength, we need to talk about it on just the level of output. And so again, whether we're talking about 20 rep sets or 1 rep sets, we're still talking about strength on some level. We're talking about output. You can get stronger with 20 reps, you can get stronger with 1 rep. If you practice doing 15 and 20 reps a lot, you'll probably get better at the skill of doing 15 to 20 reps and you'll get stronger in that range. And that may not necessarily translate to you getting stronger on the 1 rep max. And likewise, you getting stronger on the 1 rep max might not necessarily translate to the 15 or 20 rep range, but not because strength isn't a consistent thread across all rep ranges, but more so because every rep range that you use is a specific skill. And my point with this video is really just to describe my opinion, which is that we should not make this really huge, like broad scale discrepancy between strength at different ranges, because it's all strength. And when you really boil it down, yes, certain people are better at certain rep ranges, but it's only because they practice those rep ranges more. And we shouldn't glorify the practice of 1 rep range over the practice of another, because ultimately all rep ranges have their value and have their place. You just have to know in what context you're trying to apply a certain rep range. And the same goes for exercises. The squat, the bench, the deadlift, they're great movements. They're fantastic movements. They're popular for many, 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 many reasons. One of which is just that they're great for building muscle and great for building strength on the exercises themselves. But we shouldn't glorify those as if they're some mystical, magical voodoo motions that possess the quality of strength that other exercises simply don't. And the more that you can think in these terms, and the less dogmatic that you can be about rep ranges and exercise selection and exercise execution in some sense, then the better decisions that you can make for yourself, and if you're a coach or a PT, a strength athlete, whatever, you can make better decisions for other people if, again, you're a fitness professional. So a little bit of a ramble today. I hope it helped. If you disagree, tell me why. I want to know. Because if there's something that I'm missing and I'm being stupid about this, then I want you all to point it out. And if you don't have something constructive to say and you just want to say something mean, like I'm pedantic or something, that's your right too. But more than likely, I'll just press the hide button so you won't even know that you're just typing into the void, which is great. It's a great feature of YouTube. Anyway, see you all in the next one.